Listen up. The soap you shower with? It's You probably haven't even questioned what bar soap you lather up with. Let's face it, most guys don't. They're still using whatever bar their mommy bought for her little man. Is that what you want? To smell like mama's little man? Ugh. But now you can upgrade your shower game with Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. Dr. Squatch Natural Soap. Real soap for real men. Or don't, and continue to be mommy's little helper.
Welcome to E-Racing TV. We're coming at you live from Las Vegas, and I'm going to tell you what, I find myself in Las Vegas not because I woke up in the back of a van with a pillowcase over my head. No, my loan shark did not find me. We're here for All Pro Sim Racing League here at the Bullring. We're going 200 laps, and it's going to be quite the show. We're about halfway through qualifying right now, and as it stands, Chris Canfield going to be on the pole, the 14.132. Kelsey Rogers sitting second. The Dillon boys, Jeff and Kevin Dillon, sitting third and fourth respectively, and Justin Blackdeer are going to round out the top five. And we've got a pretty tight field here. We've got some drivers, I think, that may be getting a little bit sneaky here in qualifying. I know we do an invert, and Brandon Wilkinson, very fast in practice. He's sitting at right about near the invert spot, so that may work out for him pretty well. And Zach Cold Beer Coy are going to be sitting in about 8th position. And I don't know, when you make your way up to the booth, Jason, I'd love to hear your input. We've already covered a race here at the Bullring once this season. And this track has a lot of grip tonight, a lot of rubber down on that groove. And I'm curious to see what you think about how that's going to affect this race.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot of factors into this. And mainly what I'm seeing is, that we're going to have that day to night transition. That degree, the temperature of this track is going to change drastically, or at least it usually does in iRacing. That's usually a really big swing when you get that day to night. So, look for those cars that grip up a lot more. They're probably going to get a lot tighter. I mean, this is a fixed setup, so it's kind of hard to say which way these cars are going to go. I know Jeff was turning laps. Our man behind the scenes was turning some laps. Maybe we'll get some feedback to relay to you guys of what it was feeling like in the daytime at least. So, I'm interested to see this race, and I think with the change, these drivers are all good. We've been following them all season long. These guys are really awesome. So to see them, to have them hurdle kind of something like this, where the car is probably going to change that much, it's going to be real awesome. It should be a really awesome show.
Yeah, 100%. And Jeff had said, our man behind the scenes, the man behind the curtain, Jeff Shrewsbury, had said this track was hooked up in practice, a lot of grip. And you alluded to it right there. You said, once the track cools down, it's going to change things quite a bit. We saw quite a bit of cars dancing around here in practice and in qualifying, really struggling to get that power down, keep it pinned to the bottom of the track. We talked about it earlier. This track, you really need to roll through the center of the corner to really continue that speed and get a good lap time. So I'm curious to see. I'm looking at the grid right now. I'm curious to see who's going to end up on the pole after the invert. Looks like Travis Wright might be on the pole after the invert. Brandon Wilkinson might be second. Chris Canfield, I believe, was our pole sitter in that 03 car. Chris had a good showing the past few weeks when we were doing the Cali tournament at Irwindale. Had a bit of bad luck though, so he's probably hoping he can turn that around here tonight.
Yeah, no, this is what everyone was talking about. They got that time off between the races there. They got the week off, and then it was a clean slate coming into that the Cali King. I can't say that. Maybe next year I'll practice up a little bit better. But everyone kind of had that clean slate going into it, and it really kind of showed because the pressure was off. Because the when they did the Irwindale Inner, tempers were up. We had cars just going haywire. The end of that race was phenomenal. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you check us out on Facebook, YouTube. It's on all of the e-racing stuff, because that race, the ending of that race was spectacular, to say the least. It was a hell of a show. So, them taking that week off in between, coming back at it, was pretty awesome to kind of see them be a little more conservative with the race. So we saw them kind of be a lot more kind of mind on the wheel there. And so now I think a couple races into that, I think we're going to start seeing those tempers, the pressure start kind of building up again. So it's going to be awesome kind of watching this progress as we keep going into the season.
Yeah, and you kind of said it right there. We want to give a shout out to all of our viewers from all around the world who are watching us live right now on Roku TV, Amazon Fire, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. But if you can't catch a live race, we do have on demand. So check out our Facebook, check out our YouTube. And we're working on integrating some on demand into Pride Outdoor Network and Roku and all of that good stuff. So if you can't catch us live, definitely catch us on the flip side. And you can catch all of our awesome e-racing TV action at the platform of your choice. Currently doing some warm-up right now, just getting a little shakedown, see how these cars feel before we go racing for 200 laps. And you kind of talked about it, Jason. The frustrations, the aggression was kind of flaring up when we ran the Irwindale Inner. And this track, kind of similar. I mean, it's not as one groove as the Irwindale Inner, but we saw races here before where that bottom line, I mean, it's kind of hard. If you can't keep it pinned to that white line, it's going to be really difficult to make a move to the outside. You really got to be able to finesse it to get around that car in front of you, but you can't be too aggressive because we've seen the adjudication in this series in the past where if you're a little too aggressive, you might have to go to the end of the longest line and start from square one. Yeah,
it's all about kind of battling, picking your battles is what I'm going to say. Every once in a while, with super late model short track racing, you're gonna have to get into that guy. You're gonna have to move him to get that spot, get that final battle. But these guys, it's not just a knockdown, drag out, slobber knocker of a Jim Ross mess, though. They're not just. It's not Destruction Derby. These guys have been racing with each other for a long time. They really understand the simulator. They know what it takes to get that move, to use that chrome horn, to loosen that guy up, to make that pass relatively cleanly for what short track racers would call a clean pass. So these guys are good at that. This is a track that I think we're going to see a lot of that at. This is going to be some real close, tight battles. I can't wait to zoom in on some of these and watch this action go down. And what's awesome about this track is it's kind of the D shape. The front stretch is that real flat. It's got a real sharp turn 4 coming onto that straight stretch, and then it's got a real wide opening turn 1. So these guys are going to have to choke up that field. They're going to have to get close getting onto the front stretch. That's going to make for an awesome front stretch battle. But then you got some options going into turn 1 when you're flowing in there. You can choke up, you could check up, try to hug that bottom. A lot of grip's going to be down there, but you got enough runoff, enough space to really drive it in there and try to use the momentum of the high side. So, these guys, they got a lot of options out there. There's going to be a lot of searching for lines and a lot of battles all over this track.
Yeah, and that backstretch, it does get really wide and it's curved, and that gives a bit of an option. Some of these drivers, that's going to be their opportunity to try to stick their nose in there and complete that pass, kind of get that dive into turn 3. And, I will say I've been a part of iRacing for about 12 years now. I was part of the beta test before they even went public. And it was really difficult to pull off those chrome horn bump and run sort of moves. You'd make contact and everybody would just go flying. Over the years, they have done a great job of implementing better net code and better physics collisions and all of that. So it's gotten much easier to kind of lay a bumper to that driver in front of you and kind of move him out of the way without really ruining anyone's night. So, like you said, I'm looking to see a little bit of bumping, maybe a little bit of moving. I think these drivers are getting pretty familiar with the rules and how it works, and the line of being too aggressive. And it's definitely a risk versus reward situation. But I'm curious to see this track. It's a very tight track, and I think we're going to see a little bit of bumping and banging tonight.
Yeah, no, that's one thing that's they're never too shy about, and that's what you get with an awesome group like this. You're not going to be able to hop right into just a regular official race or a video game lobby full of guys. I mean, these are all guys that, for the most part, know each other, know where they're from. A couple of these guys probably hang out on the weekends or live near each other. And so that's kind of the atmosphere that I feel talking with these guys and getting to know them. It's a real tight knit group, and that's really awesome. And that's where you're going to get some of these battles like that. It's like pressuring someone you know is a little different than pressuring someone you don't know and you don't talk to, because they're going to take that as 100% threat right from the beginning, and it's going to escalate where it doesn't need to go, and it's not going to lead to good racing. But that's definitely not the case here.
Well, and the keyword that you said just a minute ago, simulator. For those of our fans who are watching at home that aren't familiar with iRacing, this is not just an Xbox game. This is not NASCAR Heat. This isn't something you can just pick up off the shelf and go play with a controller. This is a pretty sophisticated driver training software. It's become more open and more available to the public over the years, which is a good thing, I think. But definitely a learning curve. You really have to understand vehicle dynamics and chassis setup, and you really got to commit to this hobby to really get the most out of it. It's about as close as you can get to racing for real without actually strapping into a super late model. So definitely a learning curve, and definitely these drivers, we've said it over and over again, this is called the All Pro Sim Racing League, and they really are all pros.
Yeah, no, it's amazing to think about how much data is shooting through this system at, millions of times a second just to get spread out across the country to everyone else's computers and rigs, and then back to us so we can watch everyone at the same time. There's a lot going into this, and it's awesome to watch all of that compile into one piece, and we get an awesome show out of it.
So good news and bad news, Jason. Our pole sitter, our actual pole sitter, Chris Canfield, he does not have Discord. He doesn't want to talk to us. So I think we're going to do the next best thing, and we're going to grab our actual pole sitter. He got the invert, and that is Travis Wright. Travis Wright, you qualified 8th. You've got the invert. You're starting on the pole. What are your plans for tonight?
Well, I just want to make it there towards the end. I don't do a great job at this track. So if I can make all 200 laps, that's going to be an accomplishment for me.
You going to worry about tire wear? You going to try to keep it on the bottom at all?
Oh, yeah, tire wear for sure. That's my biggest problem, is burning off the right rear.
You want to thank some sponsors before I let you go out there and do 200 laps?
Yeah, I just want to thank All Pro, you guys, and my teammates, All Star Racing. They do a good job coaching me every week, and let's have a good race tonight.
Thank you so much, Travis Wright. Good luck, and hopefully we'll be talking to you after 200 laps.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, Travis. Good luck. All right, our pole sitter, you heard him say it. He's maybe not a huge fan of this track. He's just going to go do his best. But that might make for some really good racing, Jason.
Yeah, no, you got to have a little more confidence when you're sitting on the pole. I mean, I know, I've been to tracks where I unload the car off the trailer and I'm thinking, God, I hate this place. I don't even know what I'm doing here. But if I win the pole, I'm going to be pretty pumped up.
All right, we got the pace truck on pit road. We're about to go racing for 200 laps here at the Bullring in Las Vegas. Green flags in the air and off to a great start. On the outside pole, I believe that was Louis Robinette in the number 30. On the inside, Travis Wright. He said he wasn't so good at this track, but so far he is showing otherwise. He is sticking to his guns and staying up front. Number 52, that's Jeff Dillon. He's going to slide in third place. And the number 03 of Chris Canfield, he was our pole sitter. He started all the way back in 8th, all the way up to 4th in just 2 laps. Pretty impressive start for Chris Canfield.
Man, he's got a rocket under that thing. That's awesome too. He's the guy to keep an eye out for sure. Hopefully, we probably shouldn't talk about him too much. We might give him the commentator's curse. So good moving on Chris Canfield. We'll see what happens with it.
Yeah, I personally have felt responsible for several drivers' misdoings so far this season. Every time I start talking about somebody, something terrible happens. So I'm going to just try to gloss over the facts and just kind of try to talk about everybody equally. And maybe that'll either make things better or make things worse. We'll find out.
Tell you what, big thing here tonight is this is 200 laps. It's not the 125 that we're used to. So with all those extra laps, I don't know how many guys are ready to push the cars that much farther. In fact, let's get with Jeff and find out if there's a rule change. Or are they allowed to change at least one set of tires, or they still have to finish under the same set?
I think he's going to figure that out, but based on what our pole sitter Travis Wright said, he said he was really worried about tire wear, that right rear burning it off. I'm thinking maybe they go 200 laps on this full set of tires, or maybe they do a halfway. Maybe we get a competition caution at lap 100. I don't know. Either way, I mean, even though halfway is 100 laps, that's still close to the full length that we're used to. And Jeff has informed us they're not taking tires. They have got to go 200 laps on this same set of tires. So that is certainly going to make things difficult for these drivers getting around this tight Bullring. They named it a Bullring for a reason, Jason.
Yeah.
It's a tight, small track, a lot of speed. It's a pretty fast track for how small it is. So managing that tire wear, this super late model's got a lot of power. So managing that throttle response on corner exit is going to be crucial tonight.
Yeah, that's something that's going to get harder as these laps go on. They're going to burn those tires off, especially the right rear, just like what they're talking about. And look for these guys. Everyone's kind of hugging the bottom right now. I don't know if I'd be doing that. I mean, obviously I haven't practiced a lot for this race, but I think I'd be taking it at maybe a half a groove up and trying to save that left front and or both front tires for that matter. Because the more they're steering into this thing, the more they're scrubbing those tires. I mean, 200 miles, 200 laps in these cars is going to be a long time on those tires.
I agree with you 100%. If I were in this race right now, if I was behind the wheel, I would be running about a half a lane up. I'd be saving those front tires. I'd be really smooth on the throttle coming out of the corners because I'd be wanting to save my tires for about, 50, 60 laps to go. That's when I'd want to start really pushing the issue and making my way through this field. I just want to settle in and be consistent. Drivers like Brandon Wilkinson, he started shotgun on this field because he won. And with this series, the previous race winner gets the opportunity to start at the back. So he's already worked his way up to 11th. Chris Canfield started 8th. He's worked his way up to 4th. Big movers, but you got to wonder how much tire wear they're kind of using up when they're putting that much ground over their competitors.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing to think about is track position. I don't know. We usually get about 2 or 3 cautions a race here. I don't know if track position would be worth more than burning up those tires. It might be a smarter move to kind of save them, but everyone's got their own way. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, and Brandon Wilkinson's definitely concentrating on getting up front, and then I think he'll worry about conserving the tires once he gets up there.
There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. I can only think of like 3.
No, there's a book on it, I'm sure.
Oh.
If we're going to get into our fun facts of the race moment.
The more you know, Jason.
Yeah, now that we're all pondering how we're going to skin this cat here, but
yeah.
Travis Wright still up front, though. I mean, For a guy that wasn't sure about this, he's really holding off and even pulling those two, him and Blackdeer, they're pulling off from the pack right now. They're just putting on a real good run here.
I'm wondering if he was pulling a poker face situation, if he was telling us he wasn't really confident about it just so he could throw off his competitors and who may be listening or watching our broadcast from their phone. Because as it stands right now, we're about 23 laps into this race. He's led every single lap, and he's not really had any pressure from behind. Justin Blackdeer definitely running with him, but not putting the pressure on him. The two of them gapping the field by about 2 seconds right now. So great start to the race for them. And you kind of said it earlier. I'm thinking we're going to see a caution. I don't think we're going to see one quite yet. I think they're taking it easy right now. But I think as they start working through lap traffic and these tires start getting greasy and hot, I think we're going to start seeing a little bit of action.
Action for sure. And talk about action right now. Back here, battle for 16th is starting to warm up as the 8 looks. Oh man, he might have got a little loose there.
Battle for 16th, that Michael Fravert and Robert Barber.
Looks like they're getting it kind of settled out now. But yeah, that 8 car, he it looked like he got a little loose on exit already. So yeah, this is not where you're wanting to be. Using your stuff up right now, you know, finding yourself in this position right now in the race, I'd be saving my stuff, you know, concentrating on staying on the lead lap and getting ready for, because you know a caution's coming soon. Just make sure it's not you.
Absolutely. Right now, Robert Barber is the meat in the Fravert sandwich. He's got Michael Fravert in front of him, Mark Fravert behind him. Those teammates / family members, I'm not sure exactly their relation, but definitely family members. There's actually right there Robert Barber going to get around. He doesn't want to be the meat anymore. He's going to make himself into a bread situation. He's going to try to pull away from the Fraverts. As Scott Formosa in that number 80, we saw him hit the attenuator in practice. He's going to try to start putting pressure on the Fraverts. That's kind of a tongue twister. Pressure on the Fraverts. And the two of them are going to try to go at it.
There we see him driving it way down low. He's hugging the bottom down there. Looks like they've already rubbered it up quite a bit down there. There's going to be a lot of grip as this race goes on here. Maybe too much grip though, especially as the temperature drops down. So something to think about as this race keeps creeping into the night.
100%. I believe this might be the most rubbered in we've seen a track this season for these guys. Good news is the rubbered in track is going to be a little easier on tire wear. The bad news is if your car isn't handling great, it'll start getting weird. I mean, if your tires get too hot and greasy, you're going to start slipping and sliding on the rubber that's been put down. If your car's pushing, it's going to start pushing real bad because you're going to have too much extra grip. All that extra lateral grip is going to start making the front end chatter. So, depending on how you drive this track, how these guys are trying to work with their setup and how their car's handling, it's only going to get worse from here as tire wear gets more and more of a factor. And right now, third place, that's Jeff Dillon in the 52. He is slowly starting to etch away at the lead. Caution flag out on the track. We have got a caution flag. I am not sure who or what has brought out this caution flag.
That might have been Robert Barber we were talking about earlier. Let's see if he ended up, yep. He's going to end up getting loose on exit of 4, and that's going to spin him around. Luckily, doesn't get any contact from anyone. He had a couple lawn dart cars fly right by him when he locked it up on the front stretch there, but he's going to get it turned back facing the right way and rolling immediately there.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, just a few laps ago, we saw Robert Barber pushing pretty hard to get around those Fraverts, and he had started to gap them. And I'm wondering if we're at about lap 40, if already overheating those tires is starting to play a role in car handling, because it looked like he He just lost it coming off the corner. I'm thinking maybe that car is getting looser and looser, and he's going to come down pit road. In fact, several drivers coming down pit road as we speak. That includes both of the favorites, Robert Barber, Scott Formosa. That's the 82 of Jackie Palmore. The number 3 of Casey Clark. Good-looking car there, that number 3. We were talking about it during the pre-race. That number 3 car is very slick looking. And cold beer, Zach Coyer was also on pit road. No tires, so getting fuel maybe is if our man behind the curtain, Jeff, I don't know if they can make it on fuel. Because we saw quite a few drivers come down and get fuel. I don't know if that's for car balance, if that's for handling, or if they're worried they're not going to make it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much the burn is, but car balance is definitely something. You know, if you're used to running that full tank, especially with how much the car's changing, you're going to want to keep it as close as you can to what you started with, if that's what you're comfortable with. So every chance I got, I think if the handling was going away as bad as I think it might be, I'd definitely be filling that tank up while they're out.
So I hear it's going to be close on fuel, 200 laps. Some guys might try to stretch it. Some guys might try to bring it in. But you alluded to it, Jason. I'm thinking that the lighter the rear end of these cars gets, the harder it's going to be to drive them off the corner. So adding a little bit of weight to the back is going to go. Pace car off. Early jump for Travis Wright. He really smoked him there. He's showing the confidence he didn't show there in the we're going to go back to yellow. I don't think they were happy with that start.
Oh, did he jump it a little too much? He was still in the corner there, and it was a real good jump. He had maybe 5 car lengths by the time he got to the turn there.
That was a jump. I don't know if that was too good of a jump or the perfect jump. He might get a warning here because he really did jump him off the line. He kind of smoked him, and definitely race officials not happy with that start. They're going to rack them back up, and we're going to go at it again. And while they do that, Cold Beer Zach Coyer are going to come down pit road, I believe. Was that? No, I'm sorry. That's Louis Robinette. Louis Robinette going to jump down pit road and maybe top off on fuel yet again. They're going to go up behind the pace truck. We got a pace truck tonight, Jason, not a pace car. That's very we're out in the desert, you know. This is Las Vegas. We need something with 4-wheel drive and some towing capacity.
Yeah, that thing just got off the Baja 1000. It's looking nice out there. Thanks for iRacing for dropping that thing off for us.
Yeah, the E-Racing TV official pace car. I don't know if that's a Chevy, a Ford, a Dodge, or what, but it's looking good.
That's what we need. We need to be able to wrap the pace cars for events. I'm
That
calling
would be cool.
I'm calling iRacing now to figure out how we're going to do that.
That would be an excellent feature. I'd love to be able to do that.
Yeah, that's what we needed. That's what we're going to talk to. You heard it from here first, folks.
Yeah, in 3 years, when you're able to wrap the pace car, when they implement it soon, you will know that you got it from the trendsetters, the innovators, right here on E-Racing TV.
Yeah. Doing good things here. Wow, I think this is going to cost him a single file start.
Yeah, single file for this one. Pace truck going to duck down onto pit road. And Travis Wright going to get a similar start, but not as big of a jump. He started around the same spot, but I think they were kind of anticipating it this time. Justin Blackdeer and Jeff Dillon hot on his tracks. 03 of Chris Canfield and the 26 of Kevin Dillon in that Wonder Bread special looking like Ricky Bobby. And I'm thinking Kevin Dillon's going to want to get to the front because you know what they say, Jason, if you ain't first, you're last.
Yeah, no. He's definitely not wasting any time here. He's making his way up to this field. It's pretty cool. I wonder if he really likes Wonder Bread.
Jason, I'm not 100% sure they even manufacture Wonder Bread anymore.
Yeah, come on, man. That's the best thing since they sliced it.
I know they make a Wonder Bra. And it's a great invention.
All right, lap 52 here. Quarter of the way done with this race. It's a long time, man. It's a lot of wear and tear that's already on these tires, and they got to finish these things. I wonder if they're expecting anyone to blow out some tires.
Yeah, we've talked about it before in the Cesra 87 Classic Series, getting pretty close to blowing out tires, and with the amount of wear and the amount of yaw and lateral grip we're seeing in these super late models, a lot of lateral grip, way more than those 87 Cup cars. I'm wondering, going 200 laps full tilt, if that's going to end up being an issue. We might start seeing some right fronts, right rears getting shredded.
I know. I saw the just the other day, a guy in a race that I was in, and all of a sudden I thought it was a glitch or something. The car was falling down to the rim on his right rear, and he couldn't drive it worth a hell. And that's when I realized he blew that thing. He blew that right rear off that car. So definitely a improving feature that they have on there. Adds a lot more realism. Just kind of adds to the data we were talking about, all the different realities that they program into here. So just another thing these guys are gonna have to watch out for as they go on these long runs like this.
I really hope you're able to get around that guy with a blown out right rear, Jason.
Well, I followed him and just kind of just made sure he made it home safe. It wasn't a big not a lot on the line there.
Good old fashioned escort mission.
Yeah.
Now, back at the front of the field, Travis Wright, he has led so far every single lap. We're working lap 59, coming to lap 60 right here. And I'm a little bit surprised, Jason, at the beginning of this race when we talked to Travis, he seemed like he wasn't really going to be able to put anything together. He said he wasn't so good at this track, and he wasn't sure what the car was going to do. And so far, he has been very formidable opponent. And nobody be able to put much pressure on him, not being able to get a run or get around him. So far, Travis Wright in that number 10 is going to be the guy to beat. Justin Blackdeer, who started in fourth, he jumped up to second. Jeff Dillon is going to run third. Chris Canfield fourth. Kevin Dillon fifth. Brandon Wilkinson, who started shotgun on this field, he has worked his way up to sixth. And Kelsey Rogers, Matt Vaudy, Aaron Hicks, and Jeff Rogers going to round out our top 10. Cold Beer Zach Coyer going to run 11th. Casey Clark in that pretty number 3. And Jackie Palmore. And then we go to the drivers that were battling so hard earlier. We've got Scott Formosa, Michael Fravert, Mark Fravert, Steve Wright, and Louis Robinett. Currently a lap down. I'm not sure what happened to Louis. He did make that pit stop under the caution, that extra, when they re-racked him back up to do the restart. He came down pit road a second time. I'm not sure if maybe he got caught speeding on pit road and had to do a stop and hold or what happened there, but Louis Robinett currently 1 lap down.
Yeah, there had been a mess up somewhere. Possibly had a black flag on that first pit stop and had to come back down. I don't know if you just said that. I wasn't really listening. That's rude. but yeah, I'm here. I'm listening. I'm paying attention. I've been watching Brandon Wilkinson's climb to the top here, and I think he's going to be the guy that can really challenge Travis Wright here. This guy, he's been putting the right kind of pressure on guys. Hasn't needed to move anyone, but he gets up to the bumper, puts the pressure on him, and he's been really timing these passes. He's able to dip, get alongside of them on entry, cover that bottom, and power off of these turns. He's really got a feel for this setup. He's got a feel for the car, and he's methodically working his way up through the field here. So, depending on how much fuel he's got left at the end of this thing, I really think we're going to be talking about Brandon Wilkinson battling for the lead at the end of this race.
Well, Brandon Wilkinson's always the guy to beat in the All-Pro Sim Racing League. He seems to start at the back every week and end up at the front every week. So always one to keep an eye on. Like you said, he knows these cars. He knows the setups. He seems to know all the tracks that we visit. He's kind of OP, as the gamers would say, a little overpowered. He's very, very good in these cars. And as you can see, I'm watching him right now, and he is starting to put some serious pressure on the back of that number 26 of Kevin Dillon. That Wonder Bread car, going to want to start picking it up because he is going to see a mirror full of that black 56, Brandon Wilkinson.
Yeah, you can see right here, we'll keep an eye on this battle here. You'll watch that 56. He's going to keep cutting in closer and closer, and he's going to start turning in earlier to make sure he gets the nose underneath of that car when they do get up there. So that's something that's really frustrating is if you're the defending driver, you know, because Brandon Wilkinson's going to start throwing that nose under you right there. You saw it right there. He's going to keep getting it closer and closer each time, and all that's going to do is it's going to force you to mirror watch this race. So that way you're not even, you're not able to watch your line. You're not able to hit your marks. You're solely defending, watching him in the mirror to make sure you don't hit him, or the other side of that is you just keep running your line and you hit him and, you let it solve itself there. But, Brandon Wilkinson, he's real aggressive right now. He's fighting to get up front, and he's putting a lot of pressure on these guys that are in front of him right now.
Yeah, and if you were watching that battle, the number 56, man, he was getting into the corner a lot smoother, a lot faster than the cars in front of him. He was definitely rolling through that center, carrying a lot more center speed, and I think that's where he's gaining his time right now. Whether or not that's good for the tires, I don't know yet, but he is definitely getting that entry, that corner entry. He is nailing it. And our leaders are in lap traffic right now. Caution flag. We're going to have a caution flag out on the track. It looks like, that number 3 of Casey Clark, I believe. Yeah, Casey Clark got into it with Jackie Palmore there. Ooh, big hit right there from one of the Fraverts. That was the number 44 of Mark Fravert. Got into the door of the number 3 of Casey Clark. Casey Clark got turned by Jackie Palmore. And the Fraverts had nowhere to go. Unfortunately for Mark, he was on the receiving end, or the giving end of that. Casey Clark was on the receiving end. He got hit right in the door.
I'll tell you what, Casey's got a whole bunch of damage on that right front. That is, I don't know where he picked that up at, if it was in that incident, but that's a lot of damage, and that is not the corner that you wanted in at a short track like this.
No, you definitely, aerodynamics definitely not going to play a factor at this track, but suspension geometry will. And if you knock the toe out, get that camber off, anything in that right front suspension, it is going to ruin your night and just make this race all the more frustrating. Trying to get that car to find grip and get through the center of the corner is going to be quite the chore. Currently right now, the 82 of Jackie Palmore and the number 3 of Casey Clark on pit road. I don't think Mark Fravert made a pit stop. He made some heavy contact with the front of that car, but he hit pretty square. I guess if he can keep that radiator cool in the engine, he might be good to go. But I think he kept his wheels straight, but still some damage at the front of that car.
Yeah, that's something you're only going to be able to really shake down once it goes back to green. So he's not going to really know what he's got. If he's got a little bit of damage, a lot of damage, you're not going to know until you, drop the hammer, get the speed back under it to really see what you're dealing with here.
Well, just keep your foot in it until it starts smoking and they throw the black flag. That's always my go-to plan.
Second caution as we're coming up close to halfway now.
Yes, and Travis Wright still at the front of this field. He has led every single one of the 83 laps. I'm thinking that he was pulling our chain at the beginning of this race, Jason.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I think he knows exactly what he's doing here.
Pace car going to duck back onto pit road, and another great jump by Travis Wright. He's going to get out to an early lead. Man, he is smoking them on these restarts, and he is going to get straight to the bottom. Justin Blackdeer going to tuck in behind him, but right now the 0-3 of Chris Canfield gets loose off the bumper of the 52 of Jeff Dillon. Dillon's going to slot in that third position, and right now side by side is going to be Kevin Dillon and Chris Canfield for that 4th position. Canfield doesn't want to give it up at 3 wide right here. Oh, man. Brandon Wilkinson about made it 3 wide, but he thought better of it. And that is going to be quite the battle right here. These drivers want to start making up lost ground. And I think this might be the time, Jason, where we were talking about earlier. They might be starting to get impatient. They've been saving their tires, and they just want to start getting that track position as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I think Brandon Wilkinson might be hating himself right now. He probably should have taken 3 wide. I mean, these 2 guys know what they're doing. I think he could have threaded the needle on the bottom. They could have made that work, maybe. It would have been a little risky, but he's been making risky moves all night. I think that he'd already be capitalizing in that position right now. So now he's got to go to work. He's got the 03 on the outside, and he's trying to get under that 26. And so now he's got a whole lot of work in front of him if he's going to get around these guys.
Yeah, the 03 Chris Canfield kind of hung out to dry on that outside line. You know, Brandon Wilkinson reminds me a lot of a driver maybe like Kevin Harvick. He's aggressive, but he's not necessarily a kamikaze driver like you'd see out of a Jimmy Spencer or Ricky Stenhouse. He's aggressive, but he also knows when to kind of, you know, fold and hold his cards. But he also knows when to put them down and play the big game. And we've seen him time and time again use those aggressive maneuvers strategically to find his way to the front of the field. And currently he's going to finally crack into the top 5 after starting dead last. Right there. I don't know if you saw that, Jason. Chris Canfield.
Yeah, Canfield getting
really
loose. Oh, we got a car
we
sideways.
got a car sideways. I believe that was
What's Hicks? Aaron Hicks.
Aaron Hicks. That's a big jinx, Jason. We both called that at the same time. Aaron Hicks.
Oh, man.
And Aaron Hicks, I don't know if he got bumped from behind there. Look, yeah, he did. He got bumped by, was that Vaughty that got into him? No, that was Zach Coyer. Cold beer Zach Coyer got into the back of Aaron Hicks and sent him around. No damage, though. Aaron Hicks is able to get away scot-free without any big damage. His tires are going to be a little worse for the wear. And he's going to bring it down pit road.
Yeah, you don't. I can't believe he parted the Red Sea like that. That was lucky on his part. Looks like he had that. You know, he was rolling that high groove. Got down in front of Cold Beer Coyer there, and I don't think Cold Beer was ready for him to shut the door like that. And was still driving into the corner a little deeper there, so little contact there. Hopefully neither one of them are too upset over that one, because you know, wasn't that big of a deal. Didn't cost him anything except maybe a little bit of tire wear on the 39 machine.
It looked like there for a second Brandon Wilkinson was going to come down pit road. He's driving it around on the apron, and I'm wondering if he is doing that for fuel saving purposes, or maybe he's just keeping it interesting.
Yeah, who knows? I don't think he wants anyone to know why he's doing it. He just wants everyone to know he's doing something different. You know, sometimes keeping the car out of a race groove can actually cool him down. You know, that part of the track's probably way colder than the groove right there. So it could be a tread saving thing, could be a fuel saving thing, could just be a psych out thing.
He might be shutting the engine off and just kind of rolling it down through the corner, trying to save every little drop of fuel he can. Our man behind the curtain, Jeff, told us earlier some of these guys are going to pit. Some of them are going to try to stretch it on fuel. And if you know you're not going to pit, if you're going to try to stretch it, you know, better play it safe than sorry. I can tell you firsthand how frustrating it is to try to save fuel and run out with about a lap or 2 to go.
Yeah, that's kind of that's on the every driver's bingo card right there, is running out of fuel with the lap to go.
Pace truck back on pit road, and Travis Wright with another huge jump. He has been practicing these restarts. He is getting these big jumps. And already Brandon Wilkinson going to go to work on that number 26 of Kevin Dillon. Dillon going to try to stick it on the outside. He's going to try to go side by side, but I don't think he's going to make it work out there. Wilkinson puts the bumper. Oh, man. Kevin Dillon completely sideways there for a second. Major save. Mad props to Kevin Dillon for keeping that thing pointed in the right direction. Brandon Wilkinson, we talked about it earlier, Jason. You're able to just kind of put a little bit of a bumper, kind of move them out of your way without totally wrecking them. And we saw it happen right there. And Kevin Dillon probably a little frustrated right now because he has lost a ton of ground. He was running 4th position, and he is running about 7th or 8th right now.
Yeah, you can see him in there working that wheel. He's definitely upset about it. We saw him. He was already grinding on the bumper of the car in front of him once he got that thing back rolling. Caution out.
Got another caution flag out, and that is going to be the number 3 of Casey Clark again. And it looks like, oh man, it looks like we might have a little bit of a rivalry throwing up here. It looks like Zach Cold Beer Coyer and Casey Clark get together again. Those two drivers not wanting to give up any inch on the track. The two of those drivers getting together a second time, 2 cautions in a row. Aaron Hicks made a little bit of contact. I think he's fine.
Yeah, I think he was able to kind of roll out of that wave. Man, they're starting to heat up. I was thinking it was going to take a few races to kind of get back into that firework portion of the series, but who knows? Maybe 1 week off wasn't enough, and they're about to start rekindling these rivalries pretty quick.
Well, we made it to halfway, Jason. That was the first half of the race was going to be your kind of get a feel for the car, save some tires, see what's going to happen. We're at lap 104 right now, which would be typically about 20 laps to go in this race, 15 laps to go. But we're just halfway. We still got another 95 laps to go in this event, and things are already starting to pick up. Zach Cold Beer Coyer, or Zach Hot Temper Coyer, depending on how you want to call it. He is going to be starting at the back of this field. I think he may have been sent on pit road. I'm not sure if that was optional or mandatory for him, but both him and Jackie Palmore made a pit stop.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. I'm pretty sure Palmore's was strictly for fuel or damage. But that could have been a penalty there for Coyer, as he goes to the very back of the field.
Yeah, Jeff has just informed me that any involved cars in a caution have to go down pit road. And I'm going to call it right now. We're in Vegas, Jason. I'm a betting man. I'm going to say Travis Wright gets a big jump on this restart. And big money for Daddy right here as Travis Wright gets a big jump on that restart. And look at the number 52 of Jeff Dillon. He is going to immediately go to work at that number 51 of Justin Blackdeer. He is going to stick it to the bottom. And what a great way to position his race car, as it looks like he's going to be able to work his way up to that second position. A great restart for Jeff Dillon. He made that work. And Brandon Wilkinson going to follow him through. Justin Blackdeer now on the receiving end of that clothesline, getting hung out to dry out there. So Travis Wright, Jeff Dillon, Brandon Wilkinson now worked his way up to third. And Kevin Dillon now going to try to work his way back underneath Justin Blackdeer. And the 36 car of Kelsey Rogers, we haven't talked about him much tonight, but he is about to crack the top 5. A great run for him in that 36.
He's doing a good job and up on the top. If he's been up there all night, kind of in that 2 or 3 groove, he's probably saved a lot more tires than these guys up here. Like you said, we haven't talked about him much tonight. He's kind of been mid-pack, but he could have been saving, and it's over halfway, and now he's feel like it's time to charge up to the front.
Speaking of the front, Jason, Brandon Wilkinson has been able to get by the number 52 of Jeff Dillon. He is now running second position. The number 03 of Chris Canfield going to follow him through. Jeff Dillon kind of falling his way back. Canfield now back up into that third position. He's been a very fast driver through the course of this series and here tonight. So Travis Wright, the driver who said he really wasn't going to be able to do much, has led 113 laps every single lap so far tonight. Brandon Wilkinson started shotgun on the field. He has worked his way up to second. Chris Canfield, who got the invert, he started 8th place. He has worked his way up to 3rd now. And the Dillon brothers, Jeff and Kevin, are now running 4th and 5th. And Justin Blackdeer, who had been running 2nd for the entirety of this event, has now been relegated to that 6th position. He kind of got hung out there. And shout out to Matt Vaudy. Vaudy started mid-pack around 12th place, but he has been slowly working his way up through this field. He is currently running 7th, and he's going to put pressure right now on the 51 of Justin Blackdeer. He's going to try to pick up another position in that number 8 Integrity Farms car.
Man, he's doing a real good job rolling the bottom, and it looks like the 36 going to try to tuck right in along with him. These are two guys that kind of been in that mid-pack. Probably both of these guys have been saving and going their way up front. But we just got a lead change. That's Brandon Wilkinson up front. I tell you what, they're going to have to find a bigger penalty for this guy. Maybe he's got to start with the engine out of the car or something. And he's got to assemble that thing on the grid before he gets into the race or something. Because just starting from the back, that seems more like a fun game for him than a real penalty.
Yeah, he's looking like Kyle Busch out there. Kyle Busch, I feel like sometimes just makes pit stops so he can start at the back so he can have some fun passing cars. And Brandon Wilkinson, no different, starting at the back. Maybe he starts one lap down next week, or like you said, maybe we make him start on pit road with his tires off and his engine out of the car. He's probably still going to find his way to the front.
Yeah, I mean, if they got more than a couple yellow flags, I think he'd be back up there again. But awesome for him. He's definitely the wheel man. He's really separating himself from the peers. Every race we see him working his way up there. He's definitely the man to beat. Along with Canfield, the Dillon cousins, these guys, all of these guys are always kind of up. They work their way up to the same spot here. This is definitely the guys to beat. These are the guys, if you're not running with these guys every week, you need to be going back watching these tapes and seeing what they're doing differently. This is where you learn. This is where you figure out what line you need to be running. Listen to their cars. Listen to their brake points. All of that stuff transfers. You can learn it. You can pick it up yourself. So, if don't get frustrated, just hit the books and it's time to study.
Yeah, this is definitely Super Late Model 101 in this All-Pro Sim Racing League. If you want to know how to wheel a Super Late Model around any track, just watch these guys and watch our textbook schooling here on E-Racing TV. We'll show you how it's done.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you right now, Jason, if there's anybody in this field that can really get around that number 56 of Brandon Wilkinson, I think it's the 03 at Chris Canfield. Canfield may have been saving his tires. We saw him kind of drift back in the field. He was running about 5th or 6th there for a couple of laps. But here after this past 2 or 3 restarts, he has worked his way back up into the top 3. He has worked his way up to 2nd now. And he is kind of putting some pressure on that number 56 of Brandon Wilkinson. And I think that, he's just maybe biding his time right now. We still got about 70 laps to go. So maybe saving something for the end here, thinking maybe he can be the one to dethrone that number 56 of Brandon Wilkinson, who has been almost unbeatable so far.
Yeah, no, it's the 56, he did make it back up front. He got that pass for the lead, but he's not really stretching out as far as I thought he would. So I think you're right from earlier on saying that he was putting a little too much wear on those tires. So or maybe we saw him possibly saving fuel later on. Maybe he got up to the front and now he's just trying to manage that fuel. So could be could be a handful of scenarios here, but that 03 is really looking fast. We knew he had a fast car from the beginning of this thing, and he's not the guy I want right behind me in second as these laps start clicking off.
I'll tell you another driver that's starting to look pretty good in the late stages of this race is that number 8 of Matt Vaudy. Vaudy, we kind of talked about him a minute ago. He had been running kind of in the top 10, running maybe 8th, 9th, 10th, somewhere around there. And something has just flipped on that car because he is slowly working his way up. He is currently putting pressure on the 52 and 26 of the Dillon cousins. And his car is looking pretty slick right now. He doesn't have any damage. He is able to roll the center of that corner very well. And I'm thinking that if he's been saving his tires and fuel, he might be one of the drivers to watch towards the end of this race because he might have a fresher car than those guys in front of him.
Yeah, it's going to come down to a lot of things here at the end. I can't wait to see it. I think the biggest battle is going to be against someone with the track position but a used up car, against someone that saved their tires and put in battle on them. So that usually makes for a pretty awesome battle. So we'll see what happens here, because I think the 8 definitely saved a lot of stuff at the beginning of this race, and we see him really putting it to good use right now.
Now, our leader's getting pretty close to lap traffic. We haven't seen lap traffic play a huge role in this race tonight, simply because we keep getting cautions before that really becomes an issue. In fact, as it stands, lap 137, we're working 138 right now. Every single driver on the lead lap, Louis Robinette, who was a lap down earlier, he got the waiver round a few cautions ago. So if we get a longer green flag stint here, and these leaders start working their way through lap traffic, that could also kind of play a role, because, sportsmanship, you want to kind of, make it easy for the leaders, but at the same time, you don't want to go a lap down. So you're not going to make it too easy.
Yeah, no, especially with these guys are racing hard, and a couple of these guys got some damage, and they're driving some, they got a lot of struggles that they're dealing with for the rest of the night. So I definitely wouldn't want to necessarily just hand over a lap. If I see that leader coming, I think I probably just kind of hold to my line, see how much pressure he's going to put on me for that pass. But Brandon Wilkinson, he's got Canfield all over his can, so I'd be looking, I don't think he's going to put up with a lap car too long with that scenario.
Now, Jason, I don't want to call myself an expert, but I called it. Matt Vaudy right now worked his way up to third. He got around both Kevin and Jeff Dillon, and he is now starting to put a gap between him and those drivers. He is slowly etching away at that lead. Looks about a tenth of a second a lap right now. Matt Vaudy is catching the leaders. So I'm thinking we might see a third driver. Oh, and right there, Dillon goes around. The 52 of Jeff Dillon, caution flag out on the track. Jeff Dillon went around. It looked like Travis Wright may have given him a little bit of a honk honk chrome horn. Yeah, no damage, though, to any of the drivers. Nobody really got caught up. That was just a spin. But Jeff Dillon has a pretty fast race car. I can imagine he's probably not terribly happy about that. The number 10 of Travis Wright just kind of did the old dive bomb into the corner there.
Yeah, that's kind of the difference in lines we're seeing. Guys are entering these turns two totally separate ways. And when those two lines meet up, it's seeing them. That lower line ends up getting into the back of the higher one. We saw that earlier. We saw it again, and that's both Dillon cousins, I should say. Both the Dillons have taken a fall to the back so far here.
So Jeff Dillon, he got spun out there, but he didn't lose a whole lot of ground. He's still being scored in the 6th position. I'm not sure if he's going to have to come down pit road. If I'm not mistaken, the rule said every driver involved in the caution had to come down pit road, or if it's just the driver who caused the caution. But
I'll tell you what, we got Travis Wright that just came out of the pits. So I don't know if he was taking a splash of gas, but he's going to lose all track position.
Yeah, Travis Wright was the driver who got into Jeff Dillon there.
Oh, that's right. Okay, so yeah, he had the penalty. Gotcha.
Yeah. All right, the pace truck going to go back on pit road. Now, we haven't seen Brandon Wilkinson be the control car here for the start, so let's see what he can do. Green flag back out in the air. He gets a pretty decent jump, but Chris Canfield not going to let him get away with too much. Matt Vaudy right there on their tail, and the two Dillons going to go side by side down the backstretch of 52 and 26. And we got a battle for the lead right here. Chris Canfield with a great jump to the inside. He is going to put some pressure here on Brandon Wilkinson. They're going to go door to door through 1 and 2 and down the backstretch. Vaudy going to be right behind, and those drivers not wanting to give an inch. Canfield's going to beat him to the line there, but Brandon Wilkinson doesn't want to give that spot up. The two of those drivers still side by side. In fact, I'm pretty impressed right here with Brandon Wilkinson being able to hold so strong on that outside line, especially late in this race. He's going to try to he is going to try the crossover. Excellent textbook crossover by Brandon Wilkinson right there. Man, that was a pro gamer move. Wilkinson going to flip it to the inside, and now he's going to put the pressure on Canfield. These two drivers going door to door, back and forth, lap after lap. Very, very good driving here by the two of them, staying out of trouble. Canfield can't keep it on the outside as well, and he is now going under pressure from Matt Vaudy. Vaudy going to go to the inside.
Yeah, it looks like everyone's stacking it up on the bottom behind Vaudy too, so Canfield's in a real rough spot. I tell you what, he was running the bottom, and then all of a sudden, I think he just realized Wilkinson was on the bottom, and he was probably wondering how he got down there. The fact that Wilkinson was able to back up and drop to the bottom, still staying in front of Vaudy, that just talks about how good he is. That you just saw it right there. That move should never have happened, and now that put Canfield's in third now, and he's doing everything he can on the top to put pressure on that line under him.
I'm still sitting here impressed. That move by Brandon Wilkinson was something for the ages. That should make highlight reels all over YouTube because he went under pressure. He didn't think twice about it. He just dived back to the inside and made it look so easy, and made very quick work of all that hard work that Chris Canfield did. And he is back out to about a 0.6 of a second lead over Matt Vaudy now. Vaudy has worked his way up into second. He is under pressure by Chris Canfield, but his car is looking strong. I think he saved just a bit more than everyone else.
Oh, 52 goes around. He's going to keep it rolling, though.
He's going to lose a lot of ground. No caution. The 52 of Jeff Dillon, that's two frustrating moments in a row, and now he's got the 10 of Travis Wright on his tail, and we know what happened just a few laps ago.
Yeah, everything, that's how racing works, though. I mean, you fight someone, you get mad at someone, you're all on the same track. It's all going to come back around.
It's like magnetism. It's like if you start getting into it with a driver, you just, no matter what lap you're on, it doesn't matter what corner, it seems like you guys are always running side by side.
Yeah. Well, looks like Matt Vaudy's head of steam is finally kind of boiled over here. Canfield's pretty much conceded that spot, stuck in third right now. I don't even see him putting a whole lot of pressure on Matt Vaudy even, so he might be kind of used up here. I don't know who we got left that's showing the same kind of speed that Wilkinson's got.
Now, I'm going to take just a second right here, Jason, to give a big shout out to the number 80 of Scott Formosa. Formosa was running near the back of the field for the first half of this race, and I don't know if he was saving, if it was strategy, if something happened, but Scott Formosa is putting pressure on that number 36 of Kelsey Rogers, and he has just put himself into that 5th position. He started at the very back of this field, and I'm pretty shocked to see the speed out of that number 80 car this late in the stages. He may have been saving his tires for the last few laps. I am very impressed right now with Scott Formosa's progress. We're working lap 165, and he is battling for that 5th position.
Yeah, doing a real good job. I mean, we were just asking who's got the speed to do it, and caution's out.
Not sure.
But we have no data on where that came from.
Oh, well, it may not be a surprise to you, Jason, but the number 3 car of Casey Clark has gone around at the hands of the number 13 of Zach Coldbeer Coyer.
Right there.
That's the 3rd time tonight those two drivers have gone into it. And I'm seeing a little bit of a rivalry, maybe some tempers kind of boiling over here, as that's the third time in just a handful of laps that Coyer has just straight up moved the number 3 at Casey Clark.
Yeah, this was definitely a move here. We don't have to be shy about calling this one. That was definitely right into the right or left rear quarter panel, and kind of stuck it in there. Made sure he knew the displeasure that he's been having. So yeah, rivalry heating up now. I can't wait to see if this carries on. Good rivalry, short track rivalries are some of the best.
I'm starting to wonder if Zach Coldbeer Coyer might be a highway patrolman, because that was a textbook pit maneuver.
Yeah, that was good.
I'm going to start calling him Zach Hot Temper Coyer. And he needs a cold beer.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's going to go through the pits, and he's going to once again find himself at the back of this field. And it is no surprise, because of the caution that just came out, both Casey Clark and Zach Coyer are going to find themselves right next to each other here for the next restart. There's that magnetism we were talking about.
Yeah, you can't. Once you're locked in like that, that's the end of it. You're not going to have an option to get out of it.
Our pace truck is going to duck onto pit road, and I'm wondering what the over-under on seeing another cold beer Coyer and Casey Clark incident is going to be tonight. Brandon Wilkinson going to jump out, green flag, and Chris Canfield going to put quick work. Big flag on the front stretch. Immediately, Aaron Hicks in that number 39. That's two separate incidents happening simultaneously. That was the number 39 of Aaron Hicks and Robert Barber getting together on the front stretch, making heavy contact with that inside wall. But at the same time, the 82 of Jackie Palmore spun out in turn 4 on that restart. And I'm definitely thinking right now that these tires are really starting to get worn out, making these restarts way more difficult than they were earlier.
You know, that pace truck driver didn't even get a lighted cigarette, so he's back in the pace truck heading out there. He's fuming now too, and I think you're dead on, man. I think these tires have had a lot of wear on them. They're pushing them to the brink, the breaking point. It's going to take skill and talent and luck to wrangle these cars in for the end of this race.
Yeah, I mean, with these cars getting light in the rear end because of low fuel, you've got hot, greasy, worn-out tires. You can't just mat that throttle to the floor. You've got to really finesse it to get that jump. And some of these drivers finding out the hard way, you can't just jump on the gas. That number 39 of Aaron Hicks, he just kind of stepped it out sideways on that restart. Unfortunately for Robert Barber, he got involved as well. And, man, Jackie Palmore doing the same. A couple drivers getting together on that restart. I don't think our caution flags are over. We've got about 25 laps left in this race, and I'm thinking we're going to see at least 1 or 2 more cautions. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I love about the All Pro Series. It's a show all the way to the end. It's not a race that kind of drags on. So I think tempers are getting right where they need to be. The lap count's down where it needs to be, and we're about to ready to hit this green flag again.
Green flag back in the air. Massive jump by Brandon Wilkinson. That's a single file restart there. And we have got Matt Vaughty going to get a much better restart this time. He's going to slide in second spot. Chris Canfield third. And Kevin Dillon in that 26 going to be fourth. Kelsey Rogers looks like he has worked his way back around Scott Formosa to get in the top 5. But at the front of this field, we've got some pretty fast drivers. But at the back of this field, we've got some pretty hungry drivers who are really wanting to make up some time. We're getting close. We're getting down to crunch time. And these drivers really want to get that track position. You know, tires be damned. It doesn't matter how bad the car's handling now. You just gotta scrap and make some moves.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Zach Coyer's doing here. I think he kind of chilled out, took a breath under that caution, and he's going to work. We just saw him make 2 passes on this restart here as he's going to work on this field with, what's that, just about 20 laps to go.
Yeah, Zach Coyer had to start at the back before that last restart. And already he's worked his way back up into about that 12th position, 13th position right now. So sitting back, take a couple breaths. Maybe he cracked open a cold beer. He got that name for a reason. Definitely going to work his way back up through this field. And just a little bit in front of him, we see the 10 of Travis Wright. We've got the 52 of Jeff Dillon, Michael Fravert in that number 72. All of them trying to figure out where they want to end up. Fravert stuck on the outside. The 92 of Jeff Rogers, we haven't talked about him much tonight, but he's trying to crack his way into the top 10. He's trying to get around the 72 of Michael Fravert. And up at the front, looks like we have Matt Vaughty is slowly starting to catch our leader, Brandon Wilkinson. And I'm wondering if Brandon Wilkinson has used up those tires. We know he is a very talented driver. He's able to do basically anything in that car. But if your tires are all worn out, there's only so much you can do. And if Matt Vaughty's been saving the way I think he's been saving, he might be able to get the best of Brandon Wilkinson. And it'd be pretty cool to see Matt Vaughty steal a win away here tonight at the Bullring.
Yeah, we got the lap times up here, and Vaughty's looking about a 10th faster right now.
Yeah, and he has basically caught Brandon Wilkinson, and he's going to take a look at the inside. He's going to think better of it, but he is going to take a look, and he is all over the back bumper. Got about 15 laps to go. Getting close now to the end of this 200-lap endurance race here at the Bullring. And caution flag back out on the track. That's going to be the 82 of Jackie Palmore.
Oh, he's in a good with that 8 car. Yeah, he just came in there a little too hot, and it got way tight on him here. You know, if that's the line he was used to using, that could have been a lot of grip, cold conditions, and used tires that got that car super tight on him and ended up getting into the 8 car there.
Well, Jason, that started actually a little bit before Jackie Palmore even showed up. The 72 of Michael Fravert got sideways, and he spun and hit the 08 of Robert Barber, and the two of them got together, and they were going about half speed when the 82 of Jackie Palmore caught him. I don't think he realized how slow they were going, and he tried to lock it down and just made some serious contact with the side of them. So that was a crash that turned into a crash.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly what happened right there. So yeah, things getting dicey here at the end. There was the one of the 2 cautions that we had left toward the end of this thing, and I'm pretty sure we should have 3 green, white, checkered options at the end of this too.
Yes, 3 attempts at a green, white checker in the All-Pro Sim Racing League, and I think they might be using up every single one of those attempts. We have seen some pretty crazy finishes in this series on E-Racing TV in the past, and I don't think tonight is going to be any different. I'm thinking we're going to see a barn burner, a slobber knocker, just a good old-fashioned short-track Bullring race.
Yeah, if only we had a way to simulate the fights after these wrecks. Some guys jumping on windshields of these things. That's all that iRacing's got left to do, I think.
Yeah, I think we load up Fight Night 2008 or whatever it was, that old boxing game on Xbox back in the day, and just have them do some fisticuffs for about 2 rounds. Yeah, I'm thinking we're going to do single file restarts from here on out. Looks like lights are off the pace truck. We're going to have Brandon Wilkinson is going to lead them down. Matt Vaughty in that number 8, who is looking pretty high, wide, and handsome right now. He's going to try to steal this win away. And we've got Chris Canfield, Kevin Dillon, and the 36 of Kelsey Rogers. Pace truck off. And, a big bump right there. Brandon Wilkinson bringing them down slow. And Chris Canfield got a big bump, and he got sideways. He did a little bit of a brake check there.
I don't know if we're going to stay green on that one. They might restart the race. If not, this was a crazy shakeup.
Big shakeup there. I would have definitely tried to re-rack him for that restart. Brandon Wilkinson doing him a little dirty on that restart there. He brought him down very slow with that brake check. Vaughty got into the back of him pretty hard. Everybody stacked up behind him. It looked like rush hour on I-77 in Charlotte. Everybody just bumper to bumper. And Chris Canfield, I think the big winner out of that was the number 80 of Scott Formosa. Formosa was able to slide by a couple of cars. He's going to find himself in the 5th position. Kelsey Rogers and Justin Blackdeer definitely on the receiving end of that. We're coming down to just a handful of laps to go now. Just about 5 laps to go, and Brandon Wilkinson has gotten the gap on Matt Vaughty. Vaughty's going to have to make something happen quick if he wants to reel him back in and try to steal this win away.
Yeah, he had all that speed just a little bit ago. Hopefully it wasn't like a heat cycle or something that kind of wore out those tires. Maybe he's got just enough left to get up here and make a pass for it.
Yeah, I think that restart really kind of shook things up, caught everybody off guard. Brandon Wilkinson doing a little creative restarting there. We're going to come around. We've got about 2 laps to go in this event. Brandon Wilkinson, who started dead last in this field, has made his way. We got a caution back out on the track, and there's one of our green-white checkers right there. Looks like Barber's going to hit the attenuator. Bing, 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 bing. That's the big
word of the
jackpot
day
for the night, Jason.
Yeah. Oh, man. Crazy there.
Maybe he had a throttle stick. I don't know what happened there, but he went straight into the attenuator. It looks like maybe Barber's night might be done.
Yeah, he was on his way to the pits there. He was over it.
So we're going to have an attempt at a green-white checkered. And if you're trying to save fuel, if you're worried about fuel, this green-white checkered isn't going to be very very good because we're just adding laps onto the end of this race here. So if you're worried about fuel, I don't know.
I'll tell you what I'd be worried about. If I'm Matt Vaughty, I'm wondering how Brandon's going to restart this thing. I think it should be too wide. Should be a double file restart, but Wilkinson's got some tricks up his sleeves. He's not just going to hand this one over. He's going to make sure he has an advantage on the restart. That early jump isn't doing it anymore. He's searching. He's trying to change it up. Definitely putting on a short track show here tonight.
I'd watch out if I was Brandon Wilkinson. If he tries to do the old brake check slow go, he might end up getting turned. I know that the drivers behind him probably are not going to be happy if he tries that again. Really shook things up. Some of these drivers probably getting frustrated with the way that went. So if he tries it again, he might be on the receiving end of a chrome horn. And, green-white checkered on a short track, you've only got a couple laps to make it happen, so look for some aggressive drivers trying to do some big moves.
Some big, meaty moves coming our way here.
Big, meaty moves. That's the name of my new band, Jason.
I know it is.
So we're going to bring them back. We're going to do a green-white checkered. Brandon Wilkinson, Matt Vaughty, Chris Canfield, Kevin Dillon, Scott Formosa, your top 5. Lights are going to go out on the pace truck, and we're about to make it happen here on eRacing TV Live. Thank you guys for watching at home, and you're about to see a heck of a finish to this 200-lap feature here at the Bullring in the sandy desert in Las Vegas. Pace truck going to duck down onto pit road, and let's see. Oh, big early jump right there by Brandon Wilkinson, and he caught him sleeping. He is really getting creative on these restarts. Vaughty and Canfield really, they really weren't expecting that. He basically went as soon as the pace truck ducked off. They're going to come around to the white flag in the air. And white flag is out, so the next flag will end this race. If we see a caution, it'll be over. Is Brandon Wilkinson going to bring it through turn 4? He is going to bring it down, and he is going to win the All-Pro Sim Racing League 200 lap feature here at the Bullring. And Matt Vaughty with an excellent run. He's going to finish second. Chris Canfield going to come across in third. Kevin Dillon fourth. Scott Formosa with a top 5 finish. Shout out to Scott Formosa, who started deep in this field. He is going to come home with a top 5. And we saw quite the shakeup there. We've got some pretty heavy hitters. Jeff Dillon finishes 8th. Zach Coldbeer-Coyer comes back to an 11th place finish after his run-in with Casey Clark. And, man, what a race, Jason.
Yeah, no, that was awesome. Awesome racing throughout this whole thing here. They did a great job. Brandon Wilkinson, he was mixing it up on these restarts. He knew he had to capitalize on it. Knew he had to get something working that wasn't a guarantee of win, and he did. Brake checking him. He gave him the 1-2 punch, slowed up that restart on the last one, and then jumped it early on that last one, so on the very last one. So, I can't wait to get these guys up at the booth, see what they thought about that race, and we'll get that for you as soon as we get back from these words from Modern Spartan Systems.
He went to go get Brandon or something. Count me in. We're back live on eRacing TV, and you saw it right there. A big finish to this 200-lap main event here at the Bullring. And we're going to talk to our race winner, Brandon Wilkinson, in that number 56. Brandon, we saw you make a bunch of moves. In fact, at one point, I don't know what lap it was, you got side by side with Chris Canfield. Canfield got to the inside of you, and you said, nope, I'm not going to have any of that. And you just did the old switcheroo on him. Tell us about that race.
Yeah, that was an exhausting race. I messed up in qualifying there, and I thought I was going to be in good shape, but I forgot that there was that winner's handicap and rolled off last. And I thought I was doing a good job keeping my tires under me. And Tommy was reading me times of leaders there the first 30 laps. I thought I was doing okay. I was trying to be 4/10 off those guys, at least for the first 50 or so. Just, I burnt it up there trying to get to the front. Really thankful. Don't take this one for granted for sure, because we definitely didn't deserve this one.
Man, you really put a hurting on the field. You started dead last, worked your way up to the front pretty quick. And it was a little harder to get around guys like Chris Canfield, but man, you really made it work. And how much did tire wear? I mean, we were talking up here in the booth, and we were worried that some of you guys might blow out tires. Just the amount of load you guys are running through the center of the corner, and you got to run 200 laps on a single set.
Yeah, I found it really, really hard to save fuel with the way the gear was. It just seemed like if you didn't bounce it off the chip, you couldn't get into the corner. It was just so tight because the engine brake helps it so much there when you bounce off the chip there 2 or 3 times. So, it was really irrational to save tires tonight, which played to our favor there for the first 100. But those guys that figured out how to ride and ran those different steering ratios, they definitely had the advantage tonight. Just really thankful, like I said, man. Can't thank these, can't take these for granted. We sucked tonight, and somehow we're in victory lane. So I guess that's a good day.
Do you have any sponsors you want to thank, Brandon? You definitely showed them good here tonight.
Yeah, this one's for my man Brad Campbell. He was a co-spotter of ours, and a great friend and a great man. We lost him this week, and we lost him Thursday, Friday, and it's been a rough couple days. But the racing family sticks together. I got to thank all my friends, Jesse, Brad, Nick, Spotter, Brett, all the boys that have really made this. Easier than it should be, man. It's upsetting, obviously, to lose one of your friends, but definitely a colleague for sure. I got to thank my sponsors, Epic Media, Rocket Performance, Bernier's Liquors. He's the man. He's the nicest guy in the world, and really happy to have him on our program. Everybody at the posse, Ty Majeski, Riley Stenjim, Brian Tedeschi, all the guys. My spotter, Tommy Burns, who does an awesome job. He called me clear on that crossover, and I was glad I was, because I listened to him for the first time. So just got to thank all, like I said, man, all my guys. And we didn't park it in victory lane. We won the race, but we didn't park it because this one's for Brad. This is his celebration, not mine.
A big, meaningful, and emotional victory there for Brandon Wilkinson, who's probably going to make the highlight reels on YouTube for that epic crossover move he did. Thank you so much for your time, Brandon. Congratulations on yet another win. Unfortunately, you'll be starting at the back at the next race, but I think you've got it figured out on how to make it back to the front.
Yeah, we'll be there. Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon. That's your winner, Brandon Wilkinson, in that number 56. And I think we're going to take a quick word with our second place finisher, Matt Vaudy. Vaudy, you did an excellent job. You started a little deep in this field. You started 12th, and it seemed like maybe you were saving your tires, because there in the last 60 or so laps, you really came on strong.
Yeah, this is a much better way to talk to you guys than it was the last couple of weeks. This one was played out in our favor. The long green runs, I really like those, and I seem to do pretty good when it comes down to tire management races. And kind of followed Wilkinson through the field and took advantage of a couple of times where guys were making mistakes and getting loose, looking like they were running a little hard. So I played out my favor. I really, really, really did not want to see those yellows at the end.
Yeah, you were really catching Brandon Wilkinson there, and he got a little crafty on the restarts and kind of caught everyone sleeping. But up here in the booth, we really thought you had the car that could challenge him for this victory. I felt like maybe you just saved a little bit better than everyone else.
It seemed to be pretty stable at the end. I feel like I agree with that. If it would have stayed green, I think I really had something for him. I'm just on those restarts, he's so good at getting away and taking advantage of those first couple laps where you can put some distance on me. And that second to last one, I was trying to time it and just didn't get the right time and kind of stacked the field up a little bit. So I apologize to anybody that got involved in that, but we're just trying to catch him,
Yeah, I don't know that that was so much you're doing. He kind of brought everybody down real slow for that specific restart, and you weren't the only one that got kind of stacked up there. So I don't know that that was so much you, but that's just my expert eye in the sky. I like to call you the Tegrity Farms number 8, but I'm sure you've got other sponsors you want to thank.
Yeah, just want to thank everybody that participates in this league. We've had it now for a little over a year or so, and it's been great to have all these guys that keep running with us. Tonight was a really good race for us. I feel like probably one of our best of the year. And everybody at All Star Sim, my buddies Justin, Zach, Travis, they had a pretty good run tonight. Travis led, I think, over half this race, so we had a pretty good showing tonight.
Yeah, Travis, right. At the beginning of this race, he told us he wasn't sure what to expect. He said he's not very good at this track. He wasn't really happy with the way the car was handling, but he did. He led a huge chunk of this race, kind of got hung out to dry. So a big night for your team.
Yeah, it was fun. Let's get ready to do it again next week.
Sounds like a plan, Matt. Congratulations on that second place finish, and maybe you can do one better next week.
Thank you guys, and congratulations to Brandon too. He ran a great race. But like I said, I pretty much followed him through.
Thank you so much, Matt Vaudy in the number 8 with a great run. And we do not have our third place finisher, Chris Canfield. So we've just gone ahead and made an executive decision, an executive producer decision. We're going to yank Travis Wright up here into the broadcast booth. Travis Wright, we talked at the beginning of this race. You said that you weren't really happy with the car. You weren't sure what to expect. You're not great at this track. And I'm just going to come out and say you may have been lying to my face because you led over half of this race and had a very strong car.
Well, I don't know if it was so much me or if it was the fact that these guys are just saving their tires a little bit better. But I did lead a lot more laps than I thought I would have. That's for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking we kept saying like we're not sure, how this race is going to shake out, and then we got to over halfway, and you were still leading it. And at that point, I was like, well, man, I think Travis Wright might be the guy to beat tonight.
Well, as you can see, once Wilkinson got into second, he ran me down pretty quick. Got around me. Uh, I think I had a top 5 car, but unfortunately, I ended up wrecking Jeff Dillon. I feel terrible about that. I really enjoy racing with him, but I was fast, and I'm pretty happy with that. And the car came home in one piece.
Yeah, and you still came home with a top 10 finish, bringing it home in ninth place. So not bad after having to restart at the back there.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It was a pretty good race tonight overall, I'd say.
So, Travis, do you have any sponsors you want to thank? You definitely got them some airtime tonight after leading so many laps.
Well, foremost, I just want to thank my all-star teammates, Justin Black, Deer, Matt Votty, and Zach Coyer. They helped me out a lot tonight with backing up the corners and stuff, and appreciate you guys for putting on the show.
Thank you so much, Travis. Hopefully, we'll talk to you again next week, and good luck. Go relax and celebrate. You came home with a top 10 and a clean car, and you did a pretty good job tonight.
All right, thank you guys. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Travis. All right, Jason, give me your feedback. You've heard these interviews. You saw the race. Give me your expert opinion on tonight's event.
It was nothing short than what we were expecting. The Bullring was awesome. These guys definitely were managing the cars. Everyone had a plan. Everyone was kind of sticking to it. And, how humble of a win that was for Brandon Wilkinson. I don't know what I was expecting. I was thinking in the cockpit of that machine was maybe an edgy, ego driven, especially after seeing that awesome crossover that I can't wait to see all over social media. Man, that was some stellar stuff. But I was thinking he was going to be the cock of the walk, but no, he was calm, cool, collected in there, racing for a purpose tonight. Awesome to hear about how much support that group's got, and it definitely changes it, and that's something that's a little different than a lot of things like this. Is the community that gets together. We heard the emotion in them, and what it really meant for them, and to hear how they were working all night long. They didn't have the car they wanted. They weren't having the race that they wanted, and they were able to put it together and still win this thing. So awesome work on that win. Can't wait to see these guys next week. We're going to Bristol. I mean, everything's just going to get bigger and better from here on out. So yeah, I can't wait to start these things up next Monday.
You've heard me say before, Jason, crank it up to 11 because that's one more than 10. But we're going to Bristol next week. We're going to crank it up to 13 because that track is a recipe for good racing, hardcore speed, excitement, and action, especially in a super late model. I really can't wait to see what these guys can do at that the last great Coliseum, as they call it. And, you kind of said it there, Brandon Wilkinson, of all the drivers in this field who have bragging rights, so to speak, he's definitely the guy that could get out of the car and really start bragging. And, you look at guys like Jeff Gordon, Jimmy Johnson, Kyle Busch, it's really easy to, if a guy's winning a lot, to kind of maybe resent him a little bit or say, come on, save some of the trophies for everyone else. But when he climbs out of the car and talks like that, it really gives some perspective and earns a lot of respect. So big shout out to Brandon Wilkinson for that humble and meaningful victory that he just earned here tonight at the Bullring. We want to thank everyone at home for watching eRacing TV, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Roku, Amazon, doesn't matter where you're watching. We love having fans. If you want to see something, hear something, reach out to us. Shout us out on social media, and we will definitely take a listen to what you want. We want to make this broadcast better for everyone, for us, for you, for the drivers. And we want to thank you for joining us. Next week, we're going to be right here on eRacing TV from Bristol Motor Speedway, Thunder Valley. For the man behind the curtain, Jeff Shrewsbury, who helps us out, we want to thank him. And for my partner up here in the booth, Jason Anderson, I'm Steve Roswick. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.
I gotta pee though.
After you turn it over to Jeff.
So don't go pee right now.
All right, everyone, welcome to the Top Flight Computer Series. This is Race 1. We're here at USA. Your broadcast team is ready to call the action here. We got Jeff Ward, prior Dr. Squatch Series champion. He's going to be out of Fairdale, Kentucky. We got the champ. He's going to be covering driver interviews and bringing guys up into the booth, whether they're happy, sad, or mad, to tell their side of the story. He'll be covering the action with us. And, of course, we got the race play-by-play master, Matt Ridgway. He's out of Troutman, North Carolina. Probably had to go to the bathroom, but when he gets back, we'll check in with him. I'm your race analyst, Jason Anderson. J Money in the house. I'll be giving you all the deets as far as speeds, gaps, how good these drivers have been in the past, and what they're doing on the track now. And, of course, race rules. So I'm pretty much your Larry Mack, for those of you who follow that awesome source of information. Let's see. So, Matt, are you still with us here, good buddy?
Yes, sir, I am.
All right, I'll hand it over to you as we get ready to go into tonight's pre-race info.
Well, like you said, I'm Matt Ridgway. Normally, I'm a driver here in Cicero, but we've been friends for a long time, and you asked me if I wanted to help out with broadcast, and I obliged. And then somehow along the lines, I became the play-by-play guy. So. Not a professional, but I'll do the best I can. I've never been afraid of a challenge, so here goes nothing, right?
Yeah, you got it. You're going to do good.
Yeah, so we got 30 laps here tonight. These dirt street stock cars for our first race of the Dirt to Talladega series presented by Top Flight Computers. We appreciate those guys. They've done a lot of work with us in the past, and always good to see us continue our relationship in some aspect with those guys. But looking forward to a lot of fun for this season. Looking forward to a lot of fun tonight. Most of these guys